أكبر الله أكبر.
الله أكبر الله أكبر.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.
أشهد أن لا إله.
أشهد أن لا أشهد أن محمد رسول الله.
أشهد أن محمد رسول.
أشهد أن محمد رسول الله.
أشهد أن محمد رسول الله.
حي على الصلاة. حي على
لا حول ولا قوة.
حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
وضربت الدار الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. إن الحمد لله نحمده سبحانه ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، له الملك وله الحمد، يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير. اللهم اقسم لنا من خشيتك ما تحول به بيننا وبين معصيتك، ومن طاعتك ما تبلغنا به جنتك، ومن اليقين ما تهون به علينا مصائب الدنيا. متعنا اللهم بأسماعنا وأبصارنا وقواتنا ما أحييتنا، واجعله الوارث منا، واجعل ثأرنا على من ظلمنا، وانصرنا اللهم على من عادانا، ولا تجعل مصيبتنا في ديننا، ولا تجعل الدنيا أكبر همنا ولا مبلغ علمنا. اللهم ولا تسلط علينا بذنوبنا من لا يخافك ولا يرحمنا يا رب العالمين. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم إن زلزلة الساعة شيء عظيم. يوم ترونها تذهل كل مرضعة عما أرضعت، وتضع كل ذات حمل حملها، وترى الناس سكارى وما هم بسكارى ولكن عذاب الله شديد. وأصلي وأسلم على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين سيدنا محمد بن عبد الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وعنا معهم إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. In the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most compassionate, the most merciful, all praise and thanks are due to him, and peace and blessings be upon his beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He who is guided by the will of Allah, no one can misguide him, and he who is misguided, no one can guide him except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We do bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The Quranic exposure of hypocrisy. This is the title. How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran highlighted, spoke about the term or the concept of hypocrisy, nifaq. Let me in the beginning just remind myself, I'm respected brothers and sisters. Quran is not just a book for barakah. It's a book of guidance. Quran is not a book that we recite, wal-'iyadhu billah, God forbid, for entertainment. No. Quran is the constitution of humanity, not just Muslims. I repeat, Allah by His will decided to finish, to end the relation between Him and the humanity by the last prophets, the seal of the prophets and messengers. After 125 or 24,000 prophets and 315 messengers, the last one was Muhammad. So when He sent him with the revelation. He sent him with the miracle, mu'jiza. This miracle basically was a book. This book contains a constitution for humanity. What is the concept of constitution? Let's use our simple terminology. When we say Canada has a constitution, which is American Constitution, it's a set of laws which contains instructions, guidelines, what to do, what not to do, how to do it and why, what you are allowed, what you are not allowed. Any country of sovereignty, any state that has sovereignty has a constitution. The constitution tells you if someone has the right to rule this country, how, depending on what. What are the conditions that should be fulfilled of a prime minister to be a prime minister? How can be and how can be he kicked out from being, and why? Who has the rights? Not everyone. MPs. How the MP will be MP. There is a law of election. Constitution. Constitution contains criminal law. Who is to be classified a criminal? Why? Who decides if this person is a criminal? The courts. What are the conditions for someone to be a judge in the courts? A law, tens and hundreds of regulations and rulings. All of them, they are under the big umbrella of constitution. Just for a simple state in the history of humanity, we have all of these details. What do you think about humanity till the day of judgment? This is the Quran. This is how we should be looking. Right. This Quran, let's try to see from an angle and a perspective to show you what kind of degree of pride you should be holding when you know that you are a Muslim, or when you remember that you are a Muslim. Because the constitution that you have and I have, it's designed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not by a group of humans at a certain time. No. Right. This Quran was revealed on the span of a time of 23 years, contains 6,348 verses. When you come to the beginning of this book, we know the first chapter, Al-Fatiha. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, Iyaka na'budu wa Iyaka nasta'een, Ihdina as-Sirat al-Mustaqim, the opening, which declares immediately all praise and thanks should be just for the Creator. And the only being who deserves to be worshipped is Allah. Tayyib, this is the opening, we open it. Let's come to one of the most serious and dangerous chapters of the Quran, chapter Al-Baqarah. Do you think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided to put some certain verses in a certain order just coincidentally for entertainment? أعوذ بالله. No. Let's see the beginning of chapter Al-Baqarah. the first 20 ayah, from 1 to 20, Allah is classifying humanity. First message. Allah gives us how He, the Creator, the one who founded us, the one who made us exist, He is classifying us just to two classifications, two categories: believers and non-believers. This is the first message. Immediately, believer and unbeliever. We don't have a third category. It's either you are a believer or an unbeliever. Now, interestingly to know, the first 5 ayat, we will be reciting the ayat now, to see what is the powerful message that Allah is sending to us. The first 20 about a classification. The first 5 about believers. Next 15 about non-believers. So the first message. The importance of knowing the characteristics of non-believers is 75% of importance. Just 5 verses for believer description. But when Allah is giving us, Allah is classifying and then gives a description. Logically. Why Allah is classifying and giving the characteristics. Simple, humble, logical something. If you want to be from those, okay, this is how you could be. If these characteristics are not in me, I'm not in. Very simple, very logical. Direct to the point. طيب. Let's come to the first 5 ayats. ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون. Very simple. This is what I want. Just give you. You believe in Allah, you believe in the Akhirah, you pay the zakah, you pray, you will be from those who has succeeded. Very simple, humble, direct to the point. We don't need it because inshallah we are from those. What I'm standing before you in this khutbah to talk is the second category. 15 ayah about non-believers. Then the non-believers, they are classified into 2 categories. Direct non-believers. And Allah gave them just 2 ayats, 2 verses. إن الذين كفروا سواء عليك أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة ولهم عذاب عظيم. You will read the translation now. Just 2 verses about direct, clear non-believers, kuffar. And here comes my point now. From the non-believers of 15 verses, 13 out of 15 about hypocrites, munafiqeen. Allah gives a very, very tiny details of them. Do you know why? We can conclude. Imagine believers 5, non-believers 15. But non-believers, direct, clear, explicit, just 2 ayats. 13, 2 to 13 out of 15, 85% of danger and importance. Look, as if Allah is telling you and me, if you want to be concerned to know how to be a believer, you need to put 3 doubles of efforts how to avoid being a non-believer. Number 1. Number 2, once you delve into the area of non-believers, you have to put about 90% of efforts to discover the hypocrites. So that from one angle, not to be like them, and not to be part of them, or look like them, or close to them, or sympathize with them, or support them, or be in a line with them, or close to them. What's next? How to deal with them. طب how, Ya Allah? My servants, I'm give you what happens inside them, their hearts and their minds, while you don't know. I'm giving them, you, as my believers, their psychological inner discussion. Let's go through the ayat now. I repeat, our title is the Quranic exposure of hypocrisy. فضح, عرض, إظهار, hypocrisy. Why? I'm using mathematical statistics now. The first 20 ayah, believers and non-believers. The importance of knowing non-believers, 75%. The importance of knowing hypocrites, 85%. Which means very serious. Very serious. It's not an exceptional or a marginal issue. But why, ya Allah? Look. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, let's go through the ayat themselves and try to let them reveal to us what Allah is asking us to understand. إن الذين, the first two ayat now, إن الذين كفروا سواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون. As for those who persist in disbelief, it is the same whether you warn them or not. They will never believe. So, because some people, they say, Ya akhi, those who decide to be non-believers, maybe they don't know. Allah talking about those persistent belief. إن الذين كفروا. And I always keep repeating to my students at the university or my brothers and sisters in the masajid, keep repeating, and maybe I did it, I will repeat it again. We need to understand the concept of the word kufur and kafara, versus iman. Because this gives you very important understanding. The examples I always keep using, and please keep it in your mind. Now, the word kafara in Arabic is the same word cover in English. Actually, cover in English has been taken from kafara in Arabic. It's an Arabic origin word, to cover in English. Type. So, kafara in Arabic, to cover. But what's the relation between to cover in the literal meaning of Arabic word and the kufur that we are talking about, which is disbelief? What's the relation? That's called the connotation or the indication of the meaning, dilalat al-ma'na. How Arabs moved from using the word kafara for to cover into disbelief. How? Look to the literal meaning now. To visualize the meaning. Now I'm holding the key in my hand. I know that I'm holding the key, definitely. I'm aware that I'm holding the key. So if I decided to hide this key, I covered the key now. Do I know that I have the key? Yes. Am I aware that I have the key? Yes. Am I sure that I have the key? Yes. If you asked me, Amjad, do you have the key? And I said, no. I'm denying, I'm rejecting a reality that I know by hiding it. Okay? This is the relation between kafara, which is to cover, and how we understand this meaning. In another ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَجَحَدُوا بِهَا وَاسْتَيْقَنَتْهَا أَنفُسُهُمْ ظُلْمًا وَعُلُوًّا. They rejected the truth, even though inside themselves they know for certainty, 100%, that this is a reality. Yet, jahadu. When I say, no. Amjad, do you have the key? No. Are you sure? No. By Allah, I ask you, do you have the key? No. Uqsim billah, I don't have it. This is the juhud. This is the kufr. I know, I feel, I realize, yet I deny. Got the point? This is the kufr. So when Allah describes someone as a kafir, He's talking about this type of kufr. It's not, Allah does not describe the ignorance. We need to know this. So when Allah say, when I talk, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا سَوَاءٌ عَلَيْهِمْ أَأَنذَرْتُمْ أَمْ لَمْ تُنذِرْهُمْ. Don't waste your time. They have taken their decision and they know what they are doing. That's why when Allah Al-Hakim, the all-wise, decided in his ilm, which covers the future and the past, decided to create Jahannam, and I mean it, because he knows that some of the creation will be so arrogant to deny the truth even though they know it for sure. Is this possible? Let's not go far. Let's go to their big sheikh. You know the biggest sheikh of the kuffar, who is he? Mr. Iblis. Metaphorically. Big grand master. Iblis, was he ignorant about the reality? By the way, you and me, we are tested in faith by al-ghayb, in the unseen. Was it the case with Iblis? No. Iblis was an eyewitness. Allah honored him. Allah said, إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ كَانَ مِنَ الْجِنِّ. When he created Adam, Iblis was there. He was there, honored, to witness. When he commanded to prostrate, he did not say, Ya Allah, I don't admit that you are the creator. Ya Allah, you did not create him. How can I know that you have the ability? No. He was not discussing all of these things. What was his problem? Arrogance. Ana khair. I'm better. Racists. I'm better. Depending on, I am from the fire. He's from the mud. I'm better than him. So please be careful. You know, this is very important. Because some people might be misled. I mean, maybe they don't know. Wallahi, they know. Maybe they are not aware. They are aware. So that's why when Allah describes, we need to know. My focal point now, let's come to the 13 ayahs, which is after the 2 ayat of the disbelievers. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَن يَقُولُ آمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ وَبِالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ وَمَا هُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. And there are some who say, we believe in Allah. Now Quran is talking about hypocrites. Non-believer, but for you they are what? Your friends, your colleagues, your allies, your supporters. And they are the most dangerous element in this society. Whether in the area of faith who claim to be Muslims, or the area of humanity who claim to be, for example, supporters for human rights, supporter for good. But can't you see this kind of killing or murdering or evil? No. This is not. But you see it in no. Look how Allah is describing why they are munafiqeen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يخادعون الله والذين آمنوا وما يخدعون إلا أنفسهم وما يشعرون. They seek to deceive Allah. They think they want to deceive, يخدعون, but they seek to deceive Allah and the believers. Yet they only deceive themselves, but they fail to perceive it. في قلوبهم مرض فزادهم الله مرضا وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ بِمَا كَانُوا يَكْذِبُونَ. Focus on this now. Allah is describing them that there is sickness in their hearts. And Allah only lets their sickness increase. So one of the most important characteristics of the munafiqeen, they have a disease, sickness in their hearts. And Allah lets this increase. Pause. Question. Ya Sheikh, is it true or not that this happens by the will of Allah? Is it not the case that Allah created this in their hearts? Yes. But why? Look to the answer now. بِمَا كَانُوا يَكْذِبُونَ. How they reached to the status they became classified as munafiqeen. بِمَا كَانُوا يَكْذِبُونَ. They will suffer a painful punishment for their lies. What entitled them to be munafiqeen with the sickness in their hearts, that they know the truth and they keep lying. Do we witness this or not? Politicians, if your mind, if you closed your eyes and I ask you to give me an answer for the first image that comes to your mind when a word is mentioned. If I told you, for example, lies or hypocrisy, maybe politicians will come the first to your mind. The area of politics. طيب. Media. CNN, for example. Have we witnessed or not the direct lying? Direct. Hey, act as if there's something. They forgot that on air. Directly. How many of them the witness? Hey, Mr. Such and such. Can't you see? No. Don't you realize? This is one of the... Can you? No. وَجَحَدُوا بِهَا وَاسْتَيْقَنَتْهَا أَنفُسُهُمْ. How many of people they are deceived with these slogans, used to be deceived by these slogans? You know, international community, human rights, okay? International whatever, such and such. Many people they were deceived. SubhanAllah. Big influencers, big, mouths, keep talking, ba. When reality came, Allah exposed them. Some people, if Allah did not let this happen, maybe many of us, they will be deluded completely. That's why the importance of keep reading the Quran, not as just a book of barakah. Quran is not a book of barakah. Barakah comes, by default. Quran is a book of guidance. Hidayah. Hudan linnas. Hidayah of what? To know what to do, what to say, what not to do, what not to say. Your attitude, your loyalty, your disloyalty would be with whom? Or otherwise, everything is mixed. Allah is exposing the munafiqeen. How many people who are attributed, to the ilm al-shara' from those which we call them shuyukh al-salatin? How many of them they are? On behalf of the religion, they are twisting the meaning of the religion. You need to know that they are munafiqeen. When you support the dhulm directly and you know it, subhanallah, this is important of the Quran. في قلوبهم مرض فزادهم الله مرضا ولهم عذاب أليم بما كانوا يكذبون. There is sickness in their hearts, and Allah only lets their sickness increase. They will suffer a painful punishment for their lies. وإذا قيل لهم لا تفسدوا في الأرض قالوا إنما نحن مصلحون. When they are told do not spread corruption in the land, they reply, we are only peacemakers. What? Yes, you are trying to achieve peace, but you are killing the people. You are achieving peace. You are killing the people. We are achieving peace. You are killing the people. No. We are trying to spread peace. Do they know? Yes. Do they realize? Yes. Do they lie? Yes. Descriptions. So you need to know, basically, who are they? Arabs and non-Arabs. East and West, North and South. But why? You need to take an attitude. I always keep reminding myself, why do you think Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu achieved that amazing status in Islam? Do you think he did fight better than Khalid bin Walid? No. Do you think he spent money more than Uthman bin Affan? No. More than Abd al-Rahman bin Auf? No. Do you think he sat and he managed to spread the ilm more than Abdullah ibn Abbas or Abdullah ibn Umar? No. La ilaha illallah. You are confusing us, ya Shaykh. Why Abu Bakr is Abu Bakr? بشيء وقرها هنا. His attitude from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sometimes your attitude, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is exposing all of us, your attitude. Immediately, the munafiq, the kafir, the non-believers, the hatred, they are not able to hide themselves now. So we need to decide, you are with whom, he is with whom, she is with whom. And this is one of the amazing benefits. But we need to understand the idea in general. This is how Abu Bakr achieved this, subhanallah. That's why one of the greatest, and I think said it maybe last khutbah, greatest benefits of what's happening now is the meaning of قول الله تعالى ما كان الله ليذر المؤمنين على ما أنتم عليه حتى يميز الخبيث من الطيب. Allah will not let the believers to stay as is till He distinguished between evil and good. Because it's mixed. We have many Muslims who claim to be Muslims. We have many Arabs who claim to be Muslims and lovers of Islam. In reality, they are the enemy of Islam. How many of us They are misled by them, many. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sometimes allows such things to happen. لِيَمِيزَ الْخَبِيثَ مِنَ الطَّيِّبِ, to distinguish. طيب, after the decision of Allah, everything is distinguished. What's next? Take an attitude. Take an attitude. Declare your status. How do I conclude this? How can I discover this? إِنَّ الَّذِينَ قالوا ربنا الله ثم استقاموا تتنزل عليهم الملائكة ألا تخافوا. Allah is stating clearly that when every one of us is about to leave this dunya, starting the beginning of the stage of the barzakh, which is the first stage of the akhirah, at that specific moment, so that you to be honored by receiving a unknown number of angels to welcome you to the akhirah. Just simple two conditions. Simple. قالوا ربنا الله. You know what does this mean? What indicates قالوا? They declared their identity. Declared their identity. I'm a Muslim. I'm proud to be a Muslim. I support what my religion supports. And I'm against what Allah is against. This is the indication, the connotation of قالوا. قالوا does not mean just to stay there closing my door and just have nice feeling with a white heart. But in reality, no one knows who am I. No. No. This must be shown. قالوا ربنا الله ثم. That's why the greatness and the beauty and the wisdom of Allah when He decided to name Islam as Islam, not Iman. Our religion's name is not Iman. Iman is faith. Faith is in the heart. Islam is the practical application on the surface. If this does not appear, there is a question mark on my faith. So I need to, that's why our religion is not Iman. And it's not Muhammadanism. We are not following Muhammad. We are obeying Allah by following Muhammad. So our first title, our by default first description, we are a submissive being to the Creator. That's why we are Muslims. So by this understanding, we can enjoy our religion and know about our religion. And the last ayah before I finish, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues, وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ قَالُوا إِنَّهُ. When they are told, do not spread corruption in the land, they reply, we are only peacemakers. أَلَا إِنَّهُمْ هُمُ الْمُفْسِدُونَ وَلَكِنْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. Indeed, it's they who are the corruptors, but they fail to perceive it. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم فيا فوز المستغفرين. إن الحمد لله نحمده سبحانه ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير. What is the goal of this khutbah? For me, my first goal is to pay my attention, your respected attention, to the greatness of this constitution. This is your book. This constitution for humanity, not for you and me, humanity. It contains rulings, descriptions, classification, what is right, what is wrong, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable, depending on categories, areas, okay? Depending on that. So when you know that 1400 plus years ago, Allah is describing and classifying and giving you description about the tiny details of what will happen, how it will happen, how to solve what happens, you have to be proud. And by the way, maybe you noticed, one of the amazing wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even though from one side we are very sad for what's happening, but what is the divine planning from underneath our planning? Millions of people, they become interested in this book. You know why? Because they are asking, where did they bring this patience from? This book. The faith in this. So my biggest aim, I have many goals from this khutbah. My biggest goal, you and me, to rethink how great this book is. To rethink when we read it. It's not a book of a beautiful recitation. It's not a book of barakah. It's a guidance, hidayah. It's a manual of solving all of our problems. If you want to see the practical application, those who applied part of it, they have the patience that you are witnessing. So if you want to have the patience or the power or the understanding, follow this book. Because I repeat, this book is for humanity, it's for us. And I always, as a specialist, my field of specialization is the comparative religions, Christian-Muslim relations. I always tell non-Muslims, I tell them, wallahi, even if you are a non-Muslim, you need the Quran to apply it in your life, because you will be benefited. You tell me, don't you think a non-believer, even an atheist, will not benefit if riba is not applied? Bring 1 million non-believer, half of them are atheists, and tell them, do you mind if you live a life without interest? I say, I will be kissing your legs, please. Because interest is killing us. Tayyip. Bring 1 million non-believers. Half of them are atheists. Ask them, do you feel happy or unhappy if your wife or your husband is not cheating you? Say, what? Please, how can I do it? They will be happy. They will be happy. Do you feel more happy or less happy if everyone around you does not lie? Your wife does not cheat. Your kids respect you. This is Islam. That's why I say non-believers will be benefiting if the rulings and teachings of Islam are applied. This is how we should perceive our book. This is how we should look from this perspective. And when we speak about it for others. And let's make benefit of what happens to review our relation with this book. اللهم ارحمنا فوق الأرض وتحت الأرض ويوم العرض عليك يا كريم. اللهم تقبل شهداءهم وداوي جرحاهم واشف مرضاهم وكن معهم وانتقم من الحاقدين المنافقين مشارق الأرض ومغاربها يا رب العالمين. اللهم ارحمنا وارحمهم وارزقنا الإخلاص في القول والعمل. اللهم ارحمنا وارحم والدينا ووالد والدينا واصحاب الحقوق والواجبات علينا يا رب العالمين. اللهم إنا عبيدك أبناء عبيدك أبناء إمائك نواصينا بيدك ماض فينا حكمك عدل فينا قضاؤك نسألك بكل اسم هو لك سميت به نفسك أو أنزلته في كتابك أو علمته أحدا من خلقك أو استأثرت به في علم الغيب عندك أن تجعل القرآن العظيم ربيع قلوبنا وجلاء أحزاننا وذهاب همومنا وغمومنا يا رب العالمين. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. وأقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله